So guys, I want to start by introducing myself. My name is Jessica and I work as the recruitment specialist here at the Tefl Institute. Before this job, I was working as an English teacher, so a Tefl teacher. I worked abroad in places such as Thailand, Italy, and I also worked online. So I'm really excited to help you guys on your journey and, share any experience or tips that I have going forward. Guys, today we're going to cover the following. So firstly, I'm going to go through some tips for your CV and your cover letter, just how to stand out to employers when they get your application. Secondly, then I'm going to go through the interview process and any advice I have. And then thirdly, where to find a Tefl job and also how to avoid any Tefl scams, as they can be quite common in the Tefl industry. And then finally, we're going to have a Q&A session at the end, but you can pop in your questions throughout the webinar, and I might be able to answer some of them as well. Or you can shout them out at the end if you wish as well. Just to let you know, guys, as well, we have an amazing giveaway, which I will tell you a little bit more about during the webinar. So let's start, guys, with our CV. So firstly, before you start applying for any jobs, we need to make sure that our CV is up to date and that it's tailored towards the job that you're applying for. Specifically for a Tefl job, your CV is going to be slightly different here. So to start off, you're going to have your basic information, of course, name, number, address, and also just the phone number. Remember that you need to put in your area code so that they can actually ring you if the company is in another country. So just to note that down as well. Also, just a good Tefl tip there as well is to include your Skype ID. So if you are, going to have the interviews on Skype, you might need to share your ID with them. So you can always set up an account beforehand and put your ID on the CV. Number two then, guys, is experience. So when you structure out your CV, I recommend that you put the most relevant experience at the very top. So any experience that you have in Tefl or in teaching or with children, for example, if the job is for young learners. And then you can put any experience, any other experience down the end and label it on other experience. Because, frankly, when the employer looks at your CV, that you want the most important information on the first page up at the top. And as well there, when it comes to writing a Tefl CV, a lot of you may not have experience or a teaching background. I always recommend, if you have any even babysitting experience or charity work, or if you're into sports and you've done a bit of coaching, that's really great experience to throw in there as well on your CV. Just to go back there, guys, to the point that if you don't have experience, we do as well. We run a 10-hour virtual teaching course. So this course is done, it can be a weekend course via Zoom with our academic tutors, and they will allow you to get some teaching practice in and give you some feedback. So this is a really great opportunity with this course and to add this to your CV as well. And, maybe just to bring up your confidence in general about being in the classroom. And also exciting news, we have a giveaway of 2 slots for our 10-hour virtual teaching course. And it'll be running this weekend on Saturday and Sunday, 9:30 to 1 p.m. in the afternoon. This is Irish time to know, guys. So to enter this giveaway, if you could just send us a video, email us at hello@tefl.ie. Just a quick video, 30 seconds or a minute, telling us what Tefl means to you and what you hope to do with your Tefl qualification now, or if you're about to finish it. And then we're going to pick 2 winners to take part in our course this weekend. So guys, I'm going to move on. So then thirdly, we have education. So this section, of course, is super important when you're applying for a Tefl position. You want to put your most recent education first and then work your way down. Also from myself, when I've been looking at CVs for applications for our programs, I notice a lot of the time people forget to put in the full details of their Tefl certification. So you can put in the hours and also the provider. So for example, for a 120-hour Tefl course with the Tefl Institute, so outlining exactly what you did and any other maybe specialist courses you've done with us as well. This is really great key information to have as well. Then as well, if you want to have a skills section, you want to showcase maybe any of your language skills, this is really great as well. Or maybe any international experience you have. So maybe you've traveled before, or maybe you've done some volunteering abroad. This is also really great and will stand out on your CV. Just shows that you can adapt to a new culture or a new language easily as well. And then finally there, the most important thing is to keep your CV to 2 pages maximum. I've seen a lot of CVs that could be a book practically. And, frankly, the employer won't have time to go through it. So try and cut it down to 2 pages maximum. And for your cover letter as well, try and keep that to 1 page. Even when you're writing your cover letter or a summary in your CV, research the company, research the school, mention their name throughout. This is always really great as well. And any keywords you have from the job description itself, if they're looking for an enthusiastic, energetic teacher, make sure to put in those buzzwords as well into your application. Just one side note as well, they may ask you to do an introduction video just to prepare maybe 30 seconds to 1 minute of you talking. Give them, a brief explanation of your background, any relevant experience, and why do you want to teach for that school, or even why do you want to live in that country. I also think this is a really good idea if you are a non-native English speaker. So this gives you an opportunity to showcase your fluency and let them know that you're very capable of doing the job as well. So guys, that is my tips there on your application. Again, just to let you know, you can pop your questions in the chat box and I can answer them, or even at the end if you want to shout out any questions. So I'm just going to move on there, guys, to the interview stage. So of course, like any other interview, you want to be professional and you want to be prepared going in. So I recommend preparing a few questions beforehand, maybe research the company and have your questions written out. At the end of the day, you're also interviewing them, what is it like to work for their company? What can they offer you? Also, you can look at some maybe commonly asked questions in a TEFL interview, such as simply tell me about yourself, what do you know about the school, and possibly as well, I've been asked before, what is your preferred teaching method? So I think, from my experience of doing the TEFL course, I was able to go back and I remembered my notes about the different teaching methods, you know, such as the PPP method, or, you know, there's so many new methods even now being developed. You know, what's your preference when it comes to teaching? They probably will want to know about this as well. Of course, goes without saying to dress professionally and look presentable. I always think shirt and blazer is the safe bet, to be honest. You know, maybe if you are having an interview with a different country, maybe have a quick Google on what's okay and not okay to wear. That's always good as well. And really important, because now, you know, we're using Zoom and Skype so much more. Make sure that you're in a well-lit room that's also private, so there's no background noise or music or anything like that. And if you can, have it on a laptop, on a desk, and don't use your phone for the interview. So you want it to have it at a good angle as well. And of course, if the interview is for an online job, you really want to know your technical stuff. So what you want to know there is your internet speed. They might ask you this, you know, the specifications of your device. So, you know, what type of laptop you have or desktop, this will be important. And even what operating system you have. So keep this in mind if you're applying for a teaching English online job. One of those things that I think is most important is time. So make sure you're early, of course, goes without saying. Maybe if you want to log in, you know, 15 minutes beforehand, check your audio, check your camera. You know, it also just shows that you're eager and you're ready to go. And a big tip as well, remember to double check the time. So keep in mind, you could be in different time zones, especially if the interview is with an Asian country or an Asian company. It's going to be a completely different time zone. So keep that in mind as well, guys. You know, even if you want to do a test run beforehand with a friend or one of your family, just to make sure that the connection is okay. And also make sure that you are set up with good earphones and a microphone as well if you need to. And then, of course, it's always nice to end the interview with some follow-up questions. So what are the next steps? When will you be in touch? Just to be proactive and forward thinking, I guess, is always a great way to finish an interview. I'm just going to have a quick look at our questions there, guys, if there's something I can help out with. Okay. So how can non-native ELT apply for a job? Okay, so again there, I guess, like I said, if you have that intro video, that would be super handy as well, because you can showcase your fluency. And if you had any English learner certificates, IELTS, TOEIC, if you had your score or any certification you have at all, you can forward that on as well to your employer. That would look really impressive. Just see if it's another question there. Great question. Is it a requirement to have an undergraduate degree to be a Tefl teacher? So short answer there is no, it's not a requirement, but it is very desirable. So it's just a matter of finding a job that's right for you. You know, also particular countries may be more strict than others. For example, South Korea, they'd be very strict on their requirement for a bachelor's degree. Also, Thailand would need to see a copy of a bachelor's degree for visa reasons, just because in the last 10 years or so, you know, the Tefl industry has got very regulated. So they're very particular about who they take on. But there's so many other countries that will take you on. It's absolutely no problem. You know, you could be looking there at Europe or maybe South America as well. Also, I always recommend teaching online is a great opportunity for those who don't have a degree yet. So guys, I'm just going to move on. So where to search for employment. So I think the best place to start there, guys, is with Tefl jobs boards. So as you know, you've seen jobs boards before, but there's actually ones that cater specifically to Tefl jobs. So this is really going to cut down your search as well. They will have jobs, you know, abroad or online in many different countries. And there's a constant turnover of Tefl teachers. So you can apply year round, especially to private language schools. They'd be taking on teachers most months in the year. We also have recently launched our own Tefl jobs board, which I will send you the link to now. So again, we have jobs in most countries and online as well. It's a really great place to start. So once you are enrolled in one of our courses, you have access to this jobs board as well. So I'm just going to send you on the link to it there, guys, and also a couple of other links that you can use to search for a job. All right. Okay, then moving on there, guys. When it comes to searching for a job, just something to keep in mind is, you know, if the company or the job itself could be a scam. So this can be quite common. So keep an eye out for this. My advice there is to research the company. So, you know, check some reviews people have written, check their socials, Facebook, Instagram, anything like that. Are they active? You know, things like this will give you a really good indication. Also, if the job is abroad, make sure you're having a video call with them before you move abroad. I know that seems obvious, but I've met people who have moved abroad without, you know, having a video call with the company, and it turned out not so well. So make sure, you know, even just a quick video call with them to make sure it's all above board. But of course, ultimately the safest option, I would think, is to go through jobs boards. Even our own jobs board is a great way to filter out any scams such as this. So moving on from that, actually, we have opportunities on our website as well, not just the jobs board, but also internship programs and supported jobs. They can be in Europe or in Asia. So the difference there with our internships and our supported jobs is our internships are catered for first-time teachers. I've actually done an internship myself with the Tefl Institute before this job, and you know, personally, I felt I needed that extra support going over, especially as a solo traveler. And it's really great to have, you know, they chose my school, they set me up with the interview and everything, so it was all taken care of for me. So, you know, if you do need that extra guidance, it's a really great opportunity. And then our supported jobs, they would come with Tefl training. But, you know, for those who like to be a little more independent, you know, with the internships, you'd be going with a group of people. But the supported job, you would be going more independently, and you would be more of an experienced teacher. So we have those opportunities on our website as well, guys, if you want to have a look. I'm just going to have a quick look at the questions there, just to make sure. Okay, so I'm from Canada and noticed that most offers Tefl Institute are for a certain age group outside of mine. I'm 53 and Irish for other European country passport holders. Is it something that I'm misunderstanding, or is this the norm? So yeah, typically you're going to have a lot of opportunities that are looking for maybe the younger end of the scale. But, you know, in my experience, it's really what the students are looking for. You can meet students that are looking for super young teachers, or they might feel more comfortable with someone who's older and has more life experience behind them. So, you know, I wouldn't let that discourage you from looking for a TEFL job as well. And if it's one of our programs, and you are just a little bit above the age limit, pop us an email. You can pop myself an email at recruitment@tefl.ie, and I will inquire. So it's case by case, really, and depending on your background, if you have any teaching experience, this is a big benefit as well. So guys, I'm just going to quickly move on there. So then when it comes to finding online jobs, so if you're looking to teach English online, you don't want to move abroad, or possibly you do want to move abroad, but you don't want to be in that classroom setting. There's generally two categories. So, you know, you'll have contracted teaching jobs, which are typically in the Chinese market. So you'd be teaching the cutest little Chinese kids. You know, you might have one-to-one, or it could be multiple kids in the class. So this would be more focused on quite young students, and having to be very energetic, and also you'd be following a curriculum. So they set, you know, slides for you to follow already, and you probably have to use props and puppets, etc. For this kind of job. The pro here is that it is, you know, you get your contract, the hours are fixed, they get the students for you, so you have that student base going in. But something you need to keep in mind is probably, you know, the time difference. You're going to be working with a different time zone. There's probably less flexibility when it comes to your schedule. So the other category there is freelance platforms, which I've done myself. It's a great opportunity to, you know, even just dip your toe in the water when it comes to teaching in general. And these freelance platforms, maybe you've heard them before, like Preply, Cambly, italki. These are more focused on teaching adults. So, you know, they might be looking for business English or exam preparation help. And these would be primarily European markets, so European students. And maybe this time is more agreeable with you as well. So just something to consider. And typically these would be one-to-one lessons. But again, when it comes to freelancing, it's more flexible in your schedule and what you want to assign as your pay as well. So I'm just going to share with you there, guys, a great article we have on our website for companies that you can apply for, whether it is working a more fixed contract or freelancing as well, if you want to check that out, guys. Okay, so guys, I'm just going to have a look through, see if there's any more questions from you. Is there an option to do summer teaching for people still in college? Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, if you do come across, even on your search for any summer camps, you know, typically they might be called camp counselors. You can teach for maybe a month or 3 months, depending how much time you have off for college. As long as you have your TEFL certification, they usually look for a minimum of 120-hour course. But yes, absolutely, you can do that in between college. It would probably be primarily young learners or teenagers that you'd be teaching during the summer. We have a great program actually in Germany at the moment, so it's open for July. We do, you know, minimum 4-week placement there. So we can email you that information as well if you're interested in going to Germany. It's a really great opportunity. You know, it's a really fun summer camp, but also getting that experience of lesson planning and teaching students as well. Okay, another question. If an employer is looking for a CELTA certification, can we still be valid candidate with TEFL? Great question. Again, this really depends on the school's preference and also geographically. So, you know, if you are heading to maybe Asia, they probably would look for typically the Tefl certification. When it comes to maybe Europe, the standards might be, you know, bump up a bit. So they might expect a Tefl certification and a CELTA certification. But I always think, you know, my thing is if you really see a job you love, apply for it anyway. You never know, they might be looking for someone to fill in, even if you don't have that CELTA certification. Do you think it would be possible to do online teaching while still studying college, or would it be hard to find the balance? Yeah, again, great question. So I taught English, not while I was in college, but while I was also doing another job. So I can understand that question. And I think probably the best approach there would be to go towards the freelance platforms, because you can organize your own schedule and you can say yes or no to the students' requests. So, you know, if you're looking, as I said, more at the Chinese market, those kind of companies, they will be required to do minimum hours, maybe more awkward times. So I'd recommend there probably going for the freelance job as well. It'll allow you to fit it around your college schedule as well. Should you still apply for jobs looking for an undergrad if you are in the middle of your degree? Okay. Yeah, I guess it depends. When do you want to start teaching? You know, will that conflict when you're in college? But I think, you know, if you are moving abroad, you know, and for example, South Korea, Thailand, maybe Vietnam, they will ask you to get your degree legalized. So this is just a process of verifying that your degree is a true document, and then legalizing it for use in that country. So you will need to have your degree in hand before you can go abroad and get your visa. So just depends on the country you're going to. What is the regular hourly rate to charge for a freelance position? Again, that would probably depend on your experience, your qualifications, and how comfortable you are, how much lesson prep you're willing to do with them as well. But I would usually recommend there in euros anyway, from my experience, anything from €10 up to €30 an hour. As well, I've commonly seen that people teaching business English or exam preparation, for instance, IELTS, they would be charging more per hour for things like that. So if it is more niche teaching, you can charge more as well. But I always think maybe a good point to start at is probably €15. And also just take into consideration if the website does take commission on your lessons as well. Any good websites to look for freelance teaching jobs? Yeah, so I just included a link there in the chat. If you scroll up on the best companies to apply for, you will see it there. Is it possible to make a reasonable living from Tefl teaching only, or is it a slow build-up? I think the beauty of Tefl is it's really what you make it. When it comes to, you know, potential to earn, it's limitless. You know, if you decide, okay, you're in college or you're doing a job and you're also doing teaching, you're probably going to be earning a bit less. You're not as committed. But if you decide to take this on full time, even run your own business, so you're not paying commission, you can make quite a bit. Yeah, you can be very successful for sure. So it's really what you put into it is what you'll get back. I've seen some postings where the qualifications are bachelor's degree of any kind plus Tefl. Are most companies sticklers for this from your experience? Yeah, again, I would say it depends on the country. Certain countries will, when it comes to an English teacher coming into work in the country, they will require to see a bachelor's degree. So that really depends on the company or the school itself. It's up to them. I think a lot of the time they just really want to see someone committed to teaching and has their TEFL certificate is probably, what's their relevant experience. Yeah, just one moment there, guys. I'm going to keep scrolling down. Okay, Preply states that they have their own class materials and that you should be able to set your own classes too. If so, can you join and start off by following your set materials until you're confident to create your own? Yeah, absolutely. So Preply there, guys, is just to let you know, it is one of the freelance platforms I was speaking about where you can set your own schedule and your own rate. They do provide materials as well. You can work off these, they'd be interactive assignments, or they give you homework for your students. I think it's a great way to start off, if you don't feel too confident, but, I do recommend as well, if you are intimidated by the idea of teaching grammar or business English or anything like that, you can always start off doing conversational English. So just 1 hour of picking a topic to discuss, and usually students are super happy with this, just to be able to speak to a fluent or native speaker. Please, may you resend the list of job sites? I lost connection. Okay, no worries. Yeah, absolutely. I will do that just in a couple of minutes. No problem. I can resend that for you. Oh, perfect. Okay, it's been sent. Thanks, guys. Okay, so how long would a typical lesson be? Typically 1 hour. Now it depends on if you're referring to I assume you're referring to online. If it's in the classroom, it would be typically, could be 45 minutes to 1 hour, depending how the school organizes it. A lot of times people might ask in the classroom or online, can we have 2 hours? Because they want a more intensive, immersive experience when it comes to teaching English, which is great and great money for you, but also just be mindful, it'd be a bit more lesson prep as well for you. But again, it can vary. Some people could say, can I just have 30 minutes of conversation as well? Okay, just have a quick look if there's any questions I missed. Okay. I think that was it. Yeah, it's great, guys, to see so many questions in. It's fantastic. Okay, yeah, perfect, guys. All right. So again, you can keep popping in questions there. Oh, perfect. I have one here. I am in the middle of the second phase of the 180 course, so still some ways to go, but I'm wondering what are good resources for props for your classes if you want to start compiling some stuff of your own, or do most schools supply all that with your preset lesson plans, or is that something I will learn later on? Again, that would probably be a mixed experience. Generally, if you're teaching kids, the school will probably have props and resources already, because they're heavily used when it comes to teaching young learners. Or they might not, if you're, for example, if you're going over volunteer teaching, resources may be very minimal. But I think that's what I really loved when I was teaching English, is you had to be really creative. And sometimes I had to make up my own props, or do some research and find some really fun worksheets, or you know, even sometimes you don't even need props, you know, even just doing the simplest games with a whiteboard or anything like that can be the best fun for your students, whether they're kids or adults as well. But this is a great question to ask in your interview, or when you see the job ad, you know, that could be something you could ask. Do I need to, do you provide the props and the lesson material, or do I need to provide my own? All right. Okay. All right. So guys, just to remind you there again, we are having a giveaway. We have 2 free slots for this weekend for our 10-hour teaching practice course. The times are 9:30 in the morning to 1 p.m. in the afternoon, Saturday and Sunday. This is Irish time, please note. So this is a great way to gain some practical experience, and you can even add this on your CV, or just to build up your confidence as a teacher. So if you're interested, please email us a video, only 30 seconds or to a minute, of what Tefl means to you, what you want to do with your qualification after you have it. And then we will pick the first 2 entries, guys. And we may share these videos as well online, just to share with our other students, to see what it's like to be doing Tefl with us as well. So guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. If you have any other questions or anything I haven't answered, you can email myself. My direct email is recruitment@tefl.ie. I will just type that in there for you guys. And you can also email the team at hello@tefl.ie. You can give us a call any day, or pop onto our website and use our live chat as well. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. It's been a great turnout, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. Thanks so much.